1,000 subs.
Like, so, get something.
Big dog pocket fives all in against queen 9 of hearts. That's a fun flop. That's not a fun turn. You have no equity. Let's skip to the next hand. The river doesn't even matter. Okay, well, you guys know what hand we're going to talk about. I know this Dino a lot, guys, a reg, and MTT regs, they like to 3-bet the button, don't they? Like, really wide.
They do love it. The thing is, I think a lot of the not as good MTT regs, or even the really good MTT regs, they're going to be 3-betting these spots. If you think about which hands they're going to be doing it with, a lot of them like to do it with, say, suited connectors, and suited aces, and sometimes stuff just like Queen Jack off and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
The only hands they're going to be doing with value are aces and kings, sometimes queens. Because in deep, he wouldn't be comfortable getting in, well, maybe queens, but definitely not jacks and ace king. So a lot of the regs, almost all the time, are going to be flatting those hands. So if we count the combination of hands of bluffs against the combination of hands that have value, I think they're going to be over 3-bet way too many bluffs. Mm-hmm. So I really like Ben's play here, and the sizing as well, I think is really good because it means that he can't peel if he has somehow just 3-bet Jack 10 suited. It makes his peel really unprofitable against our range.
What's the kind of line at which he shouldn't be peeling? Obviously, if we like min clicked him back to 3K, it's an easy call. If we make it like 3,600, can he still call? Like, what's the line where if he peels with whatever face cards or suited hand he has, that it's like he's making a clear mistake?
I think it's still quite widely debated, especially in cash games in these kind of situations. I personally, I would peel anything. If I had stayed in his position 3-bet Jack 10 suited, I'd be peeling a lot of things up to about 4K, I think. But I think the majority of people seem to think it would be bad peeling anything above like 3.8. I mean, it's quite small details and semantics that people argue about, but I think people are maybe folding a bit tighter than folding a bit too much. So that means that we can exploit that and then 4-bet too much.
Incoming in 30 seconds on the stream. Hooray! 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 Like, what hand's he talking about? It's the one. It's got a lot of green in it, and it's in my.
I'm still not sure which one.
No, it's nothing to do with cards.
Okay.
All right, Ace King. He didn't want to play. Why do you make it so big, Ben?
Yeah, I think that was a mistake. I just thought he'd be getting in or not. I really don't like it now. I think I just want to go to like 2K.
Yeah, like I think we agree that he's pretty much getting it in or not, but the problem with us making it 3,600 here is we don't have the illusion that we might actually fold.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you don't have the illusion anyway, but if you go to 2K, they might just be like, King Jack, I try and hit, and then if they hit a king, they just can't get away.
Yeah.
I think the difference is usually we would, if we say went 2.2K here, have the illusion of having fold equity. But if he is a good player and he knows we're a good player, he knows that we won't be 3-bet bluffing too much in this situation because of the 2 stacks behind us. The guy with, has he just got loads of squares for his name?
It's some awesome. I love those Euro characters. Maybe it's Russian, but it's
Very square guy and Gareth. They have stacks where if we did 3-bet, say I don't know, some kind of suited ace to about 2.5K or 2.3K, and they shoved 6K, we'd be getting ludicrous pot odds, and I don't know personally, but I think it might be priced.
Yeah. Hey, Sparks. Sparks, I need your help. I want a straw poll where people can vote on which character that they like better. The Swedish character that's an O with the 2 dots on top, or the Swedish character where it's a U with the 2 dots on top, the smiley face one. Those are both pretty sweet characters. Let's see what people like more. Grips and Jay Carver ruled YouTube. Now they will rule Twitch. No. Jason Carver rules Twitch. I run YouTube, and I am a guest star on Twitch, and I'm fine with it being that way. I don't want the spotlight on Twitch. I just want to be the man at YouTube where the real... I mean, I think YouTube's the most comprehensive training experience, and then taking what we do here and moving it there is even better. But
I think having that, if we had just like tens of thousands of people watching every time, it just wouldn't be as an exclusive information. So the fewer people that are watching good information, the more valuable the information is, because fewer people are going to have it.
Yeah, definitely agree. And if we had that 5,000-10,000 viewer thing, our chat would just be a mess. Like in the article with Poker News, I actually said, like, I wouldn't really want us to have more than kind of 1,000 regular viewers, because that's kind of the spot where, like, there's still a lot of action, but it's mostly like in the family kind of regs. Once you get over that 3K, 5K mark, it just gets stupid. And the other thing is, like, to be the boss on Twitch, you need to stream every single day.
Yeah.
And I think the only thing that would be almost as rough as that is playing MTTs 12 hours a day without taking a day off ever. Like, you need to take these breaks, but, like, some people think, like, oh, I got to be the best, so I just got to do this every single day and never stop. Can't do it. Doesn't last. And even if you break through, like, eventually your body is going to catch up to you and be like, dude, you done fucked up. You're going to feel the pain now. Go fix me. Happy to be in the conversation on Twitch, though. Don't need to be the boss. That's okay. Oh, you're peeling a lot and not hitting anything. How tilted were you, man? You're just chilling with the table big stack. You're like, fuck. Never hit the board. By the way, guys, thanks for doing this. This is a lot of fun, and it gets more and more fun every day. And I feel that paying for your hotel today so you could have internet was 100% worth it. Because, man, we got the Sunday 9 million this week that pays $1 million, and if you just increase my chances of winning it by like 0.1%, I've probably made my value back already, right?
Yeah. I mean, I love doing this kind of stuff anyway, especially when it's not my tournament being scrutinized, because I can openly laugh at some of the plays Ben makes, especially knowing that he picked the tournament, so...
Yeah.
It would feel a lot worse if I hadn't won.
Oh, you didn't win. Oh.
Yeah, you didn't win. You were just like Charlie, choke artist.
I had that so much this week.
It's like, hey, remember when I won the Sunday meal? Oh, no.
Charlie won't live it down.
It's quite fun, though.
Luckily, he didn't either, then.
Yeah. It's quite fun. When I came second in the Sunday Million, it was in exactly the same. Like, I'd just come to Jersey, and I hadn't been playing. It was like my first big tournament session, and it was exactly the same scenario with me and Ben when he came second in it. But I do have the thing that I got more money out of the deal from my win, and Ben didn't. So.
Yeah, but I will say that Ben had a way more impressive hustle than yours.
Yeah.
I mean,
He did actually.
I'm sure credit can be shared, but that was awesome. I watched it and I'm like, this is exactly what Cal would be saying, and Cal always gets the maximum.
Yeah,
like, it was
so fun at the time doing it, just watching Ben type.
We'll talk about that when we get to it, guys. But Ben did some epic just ownage on the deal. He wasn't just hustling with his plays. He was making the right moves while playing, and then he made the right moves in the chat, which is something that gets ignored. Anyway, I'm onto this ace jack hand where there's a 4K shove under the gun, and I'm curious if you're gonna call, because I think you're ahead of some of the hands he's shoving, but not the bulk of them. It's about 8 big blinds.
Yeah, I think it's a really fine line. I think when people have about 5.5K or something, and they see that they'll still have a stack after the blinds, it changes, but I think he's really at that stage where if he lets the blinds go, he'll only have 6 bigs, and I think people will start to shove wider. So I thought he'd be shoving, not all the time because I don't know each player, but 9-10 suits and stuff, just trying to get a stack.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I completely agree with that. I think if he did have say 5.5 to 6K, it just eliminates all the things like pocket deuces to pocket sixes maybe, and which we're flipping against, and then loads of stuff like the suited broadways, the offsuit broadways, the suited connectors, and some people will just be shoving just like ace nine suited there because they are going to be getting short stacks, and I think we do beat that range now. Whereas if you had two big blinds more, I think it would be a fold, but on this one it's a call.
Yeah. Cool. Alright, so the board runs out all gold. Gold, silver, platinum, and diamonds for us. Someone used to say it's a good turn. No, a good flop, a great turn, a fantastic river. I think I might bring the gold flop, platinum turn, diamond rivers. I don't know. So many isms that just come around when you just talk with yourself to a computer screen nonstop. I know in a way there are people there, but in a much more real way, there's nobody here. And I'm just talking to myself.
Oh, lonely grips. Poor grips.
I really look forward to the summer when I'll be surrounded by real people. Real
It'll be like
humans.
having a real friend.
Oh, our house is so good. Like, the exact house we're staying in is so good.
Yeah.
Everything.
I still haven't looked at it. It's like,
Why would you? It's a waste of your time, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I like having the surprise coming up of.
You probably haven't even considered going to the bank to send me your share of the money either. You probably just haven't done anything but click
Oh yeah, shit.
click Zoom buttons.
Yeah, sorry about that.
It's okay. Just take the hotel money out of the payment. We'll do it that way.
That's cool.
It's just easier. And then like you'll be more motivated to actually go do it because you'll be like, I'm making $300 by sending this payment.
You definitely want it on by bank transfer and not stars.
Yeah, because if you send a transfer via stars, I can't instantly withdraw the money, and it is a boatload of money I put up for the house since I'm just gonna pay everyone's share right now. Peace out, U.S. bank account. If I could cash it out from stars, I would definitely take it. Or if I was playing more on stars, I would take it. But right now, I'm just like just doing grip stuff. So I'm gonna try to get us a booth at Vegas. So I'm gonna reuse that money to do it. Like, yeah. All right.
That's good.
So we got A7 of hearts, flopped an open ender, 4, 5, 6. That's an automatic win in CeeLo for any of you dice players out there. And this guy's trying to steal the pot. And like, if I'm you, I'm just gonna say, all right, bro, you think you got it? Let's run the deck out because you got an open ender and potentially an overcard. What are your thoughts against this Sinolanina character fellow?
Yeah, at the time I think it was just like his timing and just even without the like, he doesn't rep that many hands compared to how many hands he's peeling with, and I think because I just thought there were so many hands like Jack 10 off and stuff that we just conceive it small and take it that you miss the flop.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people once I've chosen a bet sizing that small, a lot of people do just kind of spaz out and will raise way too many of their hands that have missed. And then he doesn't have many like set combos, and even if he's just played like jacks this way, we just have quite a lot of equity. And then I think we have decent fold equity. I would have preferred shoving on the flop, but I'm not sure. It went awfully wrong, so I'm not sure they're being results orientated.
Oh, let's see what he had. What does he have, like 7-8 or something? Oh.
We get
What? How does he call you? Well, you did this click. Do you think if you shoved instead of clicking, he would call? Do you think he actually thought he could bluff you back, or he just? This is absurd.
I'm not sure. He said something in the chat afterwards that said, "Oh, the same thing happened to me earlier today. It's so sick," and I thought he might have just been a bit annoyed. Or
I think going back.
I think I should shove just in case he thinks that he has any fold equity.
Yeah.
But I think I don't think it makes too much difference in the long run. I think most people are just folding the ace queen there.
Yeah, it is interesting because that does like sometimes in spots where people like clearly have no fold equity, they'll still spaz out just because you left the raise button on the screen.
Yeah, I think I personally prefer Ben sizing because I think what happens so infrequently. And although there is one guy out there now currently sitting at home being like, I should have come second in the Sunday Million, that kind of pro player, that bad player doesn't,
Yeah.
it just doesn't happen too often. And the upside to going Ben sizing instead of shoving is when he does fold most of the time, he's still going to have it in his head that maybe we were just fucking around with him.
Yeah.
But when shove, it's like, yeah, we obviously have a hand that we're going with, and it's going to have at least decent equity, if not a main hand.
Yeah, it's a good point. So it can go both ways. Walk. I think your c-bet on the King 10 board was pretty straightforward. So we can skip through that. All these spots where you just c-bet third to half pot and win, I think we can roll on. Big dog pocket fives. Get it through. Oh, this looks like a defense, and we flopped top two with queen 8 of spades. And they're both interested. Wow, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I think, sometimes I might flat, but rarely, and especially against the guy Wheezy Wee, who we saw call with King 3. I don't think he's really ever folding a queen when we raise, so I was pretty happy just to raise and try and get his stack.
Yeah, and he's also definitely not folding an overpair. At first I'm like, this board's like pretty dry, queen 8 deuce. And then you think about it, you're like, well, an ace isn't great, a king isn't great, even a jack 10 or a 9 all aren't that great, and the board can start to get pretty drawy pretty fast. Like, it's quite different from like a queen, even queen 7-2.
Yeah, I think there's a massive difference in that. And I think one of the main points, I don't think the main point is that we're going after Wheezy Wee's stack, but I think one of the main points is that we're still quite deep with the players. I think if we say everyone had half the stack that they did, then we can get away with it just calling.
Yeah.
And because we only need to get one more bet in to stack them. But say if we just call here and then the turn checks through, it's there's a decent chance that the hands that will stack off on the river will only be hands that beat us by the river. Say if it is a king, then king queen will probably stack off and probably not ace queen. And if it's jack, same with queen jack will probably stack off, but not king queen.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick bathroom break, and the timing lines up well. So, guys who are in the chat, you can throw questions at Charlie and Ben. I guess for this first round, since I'm gonna do the bathroom break, maybe not about specific hands, but you guys can just ask some general stuff about tournament play or whatever. So we'll open the floor for 10-15 minutes, and then we're about a quarter of the way through the hands. So after we do a little Q&A period, we'll get rolling with more action.
Yeah. Give a bit of background about Ben playing tournaments is that we both mainly focused on cash when we started living together, and we didn't really start playing tournaments until, properly until about 4 months ago, I think. And coming up to the Sunday Million second place that he got, he had final table, I don't know the number, but what was it? 5? Yeah, he had 5 Sunday majors, but he had always come short, and he'd had so many runs, just like in live events, where he'd come just somewhere in between 20th or 30th and then 10th or something. He got a few fifths on second chance and bigger 75 and stuff like that. And yeah, it's just, I think it was always going to be coming. It's been having score after score, just almost scores. And then, and just losing flips in crucial moments and losing 70-30s and then we were both, it was kind of a big thing off his shoulders once he got this second place, because I don't know, once you get that many almost wins, you start kind of questioning. It's like, am I playing it wrong in the final few tables? But yeah, I think he was just being victim of variance at first. Question. You spoke a bit before about having hands at previous tournaments. Why save hands over long periods of time instead of using it from a day-to-day basis? I think the main point about that is that if we're doing it from a day-to-day basis, we don't have any information, and poker being a game of information, even though if it is outdated information, it's still information. And if we have it in our mind saying, yeah, we have these stats against people, they're not going to be completely accurate, because it might be that they were playing a different style that day, or if they were just drunk that day. But it is still, say if they have a fold to 3-bet of 90%, like, it's unlikely that they will, for some reason, the next day have a fold to 3-bet of 10%. So as long as you're going into the day having a slight wariness, I don't think it's much of a problem having HUD stats on people.
Charlie, would you suggest 3-betting less amounts against weaker players pre with Ace King because they can't get away? Plus, on a 3-deck 7 board, we end up calling 2 barrels.
I think Donkhead is going to be. It's going to be so situation dependent. I don't think we can give out generalizing statements like that will give a lot of wrong plays in a lot of different situations. So against some weaker players, maybe the more passive ones, it might be better to just flat Ace King if they're folding to loads of 3-bets. But then if they're just the kind of player that might 4-bet jam Ace Deuce suited because they're in a bad mood, then we are losing loads of value for 3-betting Ace King. So I think it's just going to be so person specific, and that's where using HUD will come in quite a lot.
What was the biggest change you made to start playing tournaments?
The biggest change I made personally was learning how to fold. It was quite a massive one where I've been getting deep in quite a lot of tournaments just with using my cash game edge early on, and then just having the mindset of being able to win every single pot, and it took a lot of discipline for me, and definitely helped me in that sense of just not just like 5-bet jamming every single time you get a spot and just letting yourself into it. And I think it's going to be different for each person, but I think just a lot of people are going to be very, very weighted into being either too nitty or too aggressive, and it's finding the right balance for that, which that was probably our biggest adjustments.
There's one about hands there. I guess hand 9-9 versus Queen.
Yeah,
okay,
It was a Jack 5-3, so you went, and then in terms of Jack, and we bet third.
Oh yeah, okay. Is betting turn in position advisable? Nice slow play.
I going back to the hands, if it's fine. It's only one hand. If people do remember, it's when we called in position with 9s and the board was Jack something, and the turn was a Jack, and we bet small on the turn, and it went Jack, and he had Queens. I think in that specific situation, betting the turn is extremely advisable because we can still get calls from stuff like Ace King, but more than that, even though we are behind some of the time, if we check back with turn, we're kind of almost forced to call the river a lot of times, and if we're not forced to call the river in certain situations, we can get bluffed off, and it just makes the hand a lot harder to play. Whereas by betting the turn, it means that, sometimes we're value owning ourselves against overpairs, or sometimes a Jack, probably not a Jack that often. It just means that we're going to be getting a cheap showdown, and there are no difficult decisions, so we can't make any mistakes, and he can't make any tricky plays once we bet the turn, so I think it's a lot better.
Do you guys play on stars, or is it worse to go on many sites if low stake prefer?
I've heard that it's very good to grow in stuff like Full Tilt Poker and 888s and Party Poker. I've very recently started adding some of the tournaments from those other sites into my Sunday regime. But stars is just the main one. It depends how much you can handle, just like the tilting software of Party Poker or annoying noises that 888 make.
Anything but Party Poker.
Still check the way Ben played, I think, is going to be the second best or best way.
Cool. Yeah, it looks like he has a hand that might have folded out, but you never know. If he's going to call with Queen 8 suited in the first place, he's probably not going to want to fold when he's made a pair. The more selective, the more liberal they are pre-flop with their calls, the more liberal they're probably going to be post-flop with their calls as well. And the tighter they are pre-flop, the more selective they'll be on the flop as well. It's a good general rule. It doesn't characterize all players, but it definitely rings true for a lot of them. All right, so to get it in good, and I think this is an interesting thing to look at because some people don't realize this. When someone just has one overcard to your pocket pair, they have about 30%. But the power of being suited and being connected is very significant because we see here, despite the fact that we have the 9, this guy can't do anything by hitting a 9. And he purely has one overcard. The fact that he can make a bunch of straights and flushes bumps him like 10%. This is one of the reasons why like making big shoves with King Queen suited and Queen Jack suited and Jack 10 suited isn't all that bad, because even when you get called by a hand that really has you coolered, the straight and flush draw equity bumps you up a lot in terms of your winning percentage. The difference between 30 and 40% is really big. So I just wanted to point that out. And that we won a 50K pot as well, which is always all right.
I think the spot is it's a lot closer than it looks, because I think I remember Ben saying this was before the bubble.
Yeah, it was really close. And I think sometimes it just changed it a lot. He was multi-tabling a lot too.
Yeah.
And just playing all the majors. And I think someone who would just one-tabling the million, and it's like 100 people from the bubble, I probably would be folding. So I think they would just be way too concerned with they just fold everything. But I think, a reg, they are still going to be shoving.
Yeah.
Wide enough that it's profitable.
Yeah.
Nine is the focus. I was not saying,
Yeah.
9's 2 flop sets.
9 always. I think I said that too many times in the videos back in the day, and you guys have actually believed that it's the truth now.
Oh, it's the truth.
Yeah.
It's just supposed to be a fun joke, and it's like, I heard Grip say this like 30 or 40 times. I think it's got to be a real thing at this point. All right. Take the odds, and not interested in that. So we must be on the literal bubble here, and Shaggy wants to be the bubble boy. He stop and go to you? He stop and go to you.
Yeah, I was quite surprised. I thought he'd be folding, it was the bubble. It's just that thing where he's, I just thought he'd be shoving all his hands because it's the bubble that he wanted to get in. I didn't think he'd be flatting, but...
I'll tell you, if he didn't hit this board, he definitely would have folded. Like, if it came like 9 high or something, he would have check folded so fast because he's taking that $300 for sure.
And we would have had a decent laugh with him folding with like 80% of his stacking or something.
Yeah. And he was actually probably pissed that he hit this flop because he's like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, if I had a pair, that'd be cool, but like just a straight draw, like I can't fuck fold, but man, I want to put my tournament in with king high. Yeah. Now when you're up against 4 fours, count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 fours. GG's. So whenever the blinds go up, we're probably in the money. That's usually how the Sunday Million works. So we try to apply the pressure, and Jigga says no.
I think this is still the bubble.
Yeah, we're still the bubble until the blind hits 3K.
Oh, okay.
It's usually the bubble. I know because I've tried to hold on for a min cash many times in the Sunday Million.
Oh, did you way to a min?
Yeah. One time I cashed the Sunday 500 with starting stack, and that one hits the money early because people play so aggro, but the structure is so slow. Like, I think the big blind was only 2K. Like, I had 5 bigs and start. I mean, I didn't have any spots, but it was pretty funny that I cashed with the starting stack. I had no problem making free money on starting stack. Nice spot with the Queen 7 suited, Ben. You really had these guys pegged for aces and ace king.
What were you on that?
3. You got Queen 7 suited. Yeah, that didn't go perfectly.
You're trying to squeeze? I mean, I don't think Masari's ever flat. I don't think Masari's flattened him too wide to begin, unless Nuko Nako is crazy. But then, wouldn't you think that Masari would 3-bet with his weaker hands here? I think it's a little ambitious by you. But you can tell me why I'm wrong.
Nuko Nako, I don't think he was that great. I think Masari is a sicko, and they're still 40 bigs deep. I still think he's calling with a lot of hands that just have post-flop playability. And Nuko had been opening pretty wide still, so I thought it was fine.
Okay.
Just putting a disclaimer out there, I do not support this squeeze.
Yeah, but I mean...
I think it is going to look a lot worse than it is, because there will be some situations where Nuko is opening very light, and that means that if he is opening loads and folding loads of 3-bets, that means I Need Masara is going to be 3-betting his hands like jacks and tens and, well, sometimes tens and ace king, which means that he has very few hands that he will be able to do anything against us with.
Yeah, I think we should also throw a disclaimer to the audience that Ben is the one who won 170 Gs, not Charlie and not me. So at the end of the day, whatever Ben did is right, and our opinions are just our opinions, and they're clearly not profitable or correct. Aces wins. Nice hand.